So here we are, ready to find Lady Ashbury and get the answers that we so crave. We need to know her blood lineage. And my theory is, my theory is she's the daughter of Lord Dracula. Just throwing it out there.
Beautiful morn, my child. It looks like dawn is here at long last.
Can't you just leave me alone? Your precious queen has been sent back to the bottomless pit from whence she came. The nightmare is almost over.
I am here to say goodbye. The sun's warmth exhausts me. Soon I will rejoin my queen in her endless sleep. It is over. You did well.
So our beloved mother will just go back to sleep, now that enough people have suffered. Is that it?
No, Jonathan. The Morrigan has been appeased because you dared confront her. You have prevailed, my bittersweet champion.
And what are you to her? Her counterpart? Her opponent in some timeless game?
She is my mother, my dreadful and sour-tempered mother. She is yours too, in a way, but you are not born from her terrible womb like me. You are but a distant child.
I am the bastard child that will be her downfall. So it looks like you can't actually defeat the queen. She'll just, in a vicious cycle, just keep coming back and back and back whenever she sees fit.
What does she seek? Revenge? Retribution?
She seeks nothing, since she only dreams of it. In the ancient tongue, when I was young, her name meant ghostly queen. Pray she never fully awakens, for her wrath knows no bounds.
Why did Harriet Jones become a disaster?
You are the doctor. You hold the knowledge needed to answer such a question. Have you the answer?
He doesn't know, that's why there's a question mark on all of them. So what could I say? All ichors are contagious.
Ichors seem to carry various diseases. They did not merely turn people into skulls. Their presence alone spreads death.
Who knows whether the Red Queen awakens when cursed mortals endure such epidemics, or if the contagions emerge like a curse as she awakes.
I noticed that all the ichors were female, as if a male couldn't endure the metamorphosis. Harriet was also a bitter and resentful woman, as was her daughter.
If the Morrigan prefers despoiled women to become the vessels of her wrath, we should be thankful that but one disaster hath been cast upon this wobbling world.
So it's only in females.
This is not over. I am here to find the true origin of the blood of hate.
'Tis unwise to interfere with a tale rooted so deeply in the suffering of others.
What will happen to Ascalon? Will you let them run the country from the shadows?
I don't interfere with petty political intrigues. Ascalon was built upon the lie of a lineage. Such a deceit cannot last forever.
But Lord Redgrave definitely possessed Marshall's blood. Untainted blood from the greatest vampire knight.
Really? I wonder how he managed to acquire it. Perhaps I should retrieve this artifact before going back to sleep.
What will become of the vampire hunters?
They will never stop searching for William Marshall, for he escaped their two great hunts. too are now on their dark list.
Really? I'm best buddies with the head of the bloody Priwen.
What will become of the Brotherhood?
I foresee trouble for them now that your progeny considers becoming the new primate.
But I'm certain the current primate has no wish to resign.
Exactly. And I am not fully convinced your progeny truly understands what dreadful power he is about to defy.
Yeah. The Doctor. He is our progeny. He is our one and only progeny.
No. I must know why Elizabeth fled here when I discovered she was the original healthy carrier.
No, she is not what you say she is. That is a secret you will discover soon enough.
And you? Why are you here? Which new thread of which old twisted plan are you seeking to pull now? Tell me the truth.
I am just here to salute my sons, and to bid them fare thee well.
Your sons? Plural? My God, will you ever stop speaking in riddles?
Perhaps I am too old for your spoken language. Perhaps you now have so many subtle words you no longer hear the simplest ones.
Who are your sons?
Who are your sons? Why do you bid them farewell now?
You are my son, as is William Marshall.
So, did this guy create me? And if so, how? Because since he is just blood personified, did he just choose my blood and to make me a vampire? But no, he couldn't have. Because I had a vampire bite on my neck. Fucking weird. I still don't truly understand it.
This is madness. How many have you created? Who else? Shakespeare? Isaac Newton? Alfred the Great? Francis Drake? Thomas More? Guy Fawkes?
My progeny is scarce, for I rarely feel the urge to protect this land anymore. But yes, one of those you named is your immortal brother. Maybe you shall meet one night.
Maybe it's a Drake Fortune.
So that is all we are to you? Puppets you create to defeat some threat born from a dreaming devil?
No. You are my sons. I am proud of you. I mourn when you fail.
When he fought me, Geoffrey McCullum used a serum made of King Arthur's blood. Since then, I have discovered that it was vampire blood. Whose blood was it?
You just said it. It was the blood of a king. The blood of the champion I chose to save this land in its time of greatest peril.
King Arthur was also your progeny. Why am I not surprised?
Yes, he was. But he failed in the end. And for centuries the land suffered his defeat.
This guy gets around a bit, like, doesn't he? He's almost timeless.
Tell me about William Marshall. Why is his blood so strong?
He is not stronger than you, only older. You are strong, Jonathan Reed. A champion of your time, chosen to defeat a threat spawned of this generation.
Is he here? Is William Marshall here? Is that why you're here now, too?
Have I not already answered that question?
Maybe he is. That's why he's here to say farewell to his sons. Because maybe he's only got two sons now. Well, two ones that are alive, me and William Marshall.
His blood was not tainted. The blood Lord Redgrave possessed. That which I used in the serum. But what if it had been?
Then you would have failed, I suppose. For the blood of hate would have corrupted you too.
Speak clearly then, and answer my last question.
What is it?
Did I defeat the epidemic?
Now you've found the castle, Jonathan Reed. Only you can answer that. Farewell, my child. I shall dream about you soon.
It's locked, all right.
It's
The
fucking locked.
castle walls look decrepit. Maybe I can find a way to sneak in.
We're sneaking into this lass's house. It's like 007 James Bond. These hours creeping in. Oh my, what was it? Oh, I forgot the James Bond film where it's got the guy with the. Is it the weird jaw he pulls off? He pulls his jaw off. The guy from No Country for Old Men. And there's the Asian lass, right? And she gets on a boat, and fucking James Bond just appears in her shower like he's the biggest rapist of all time. Right, Howard. Let's find a way in. This actually looks like Uncharted 3. Uncharted 4, sorry. When you're in the graveyard looking for the tomb of some shit. I can't get up. Aha, no. Aha, what's this? Mary Inglewood. Robin Inglewood. There we go. In there like swimwear.
Maybe it's just my imagination, but I think I smell Elizabeth's perfume. She must be here somewhere.
Dear Lady Ashbury, thank you for your recent letter and all the good news it contained. I cannot wait to finally meet you when you arrive in London. The garden is beautiful under the summer sky. So this was sent by Countess Alexandra Somerset. We'll discuss this wonderful idea of yours concerning the foundation of an orphanage for young ladies inspired by the French Maison Royale de Saint Louis. Sadly closed when the French people chose, my god, I can't even write these words down, to cut their king's head off. Right, okay.
This castle is falling apart.
There she is. Elizabeth Blackwood by Johannes Vermeer, 1666. Dear McAllister, as a new legal owner of the Ashbury estate, I tend to quickly engage in the overdue maintenance and repairs of the walls and the crypt of the castle. Among the few architects I invited to send forth proposals, I was most impressed by your respectful approach concerning renovations. Right, so she's looking to get this place renovated.
Like most castles, this one has a crypt, and it holds something special inside.
It's me? Oh, yes, that's right, because she would have asked, well, she's recently made this painting.
Elizabeth, my love,
Huh.
you allow my portrait to watch over you while you sleep. I'm flattered.
Hold on. Like, when did these two fall so madly in love with each other? It's not even love, it's lust, innit? Oh, she's put up my painting on her wall to watch us sleep. It's almost voyeuristic. Girl's a freak. Looks like we're going out here. Are we going down into the crypt? Is this the crypt?
That sweet fragrance. Elizabeth's perfume. She was here, and recently.
Dear Lady Ashbury, I write to confirm that my men will be at your castle next Monday to begin the new work on the crypt and its access. The plans have been approved and I'll personally be on site. Angus McAllister. I must say I am proud to continue and enhance the work started by my great-grandfather when employed by your ancestor in 1795. So the work's been going on for a very long time. Elizabeth and Jacob Blackwood. Well, hell, she's a scary Mary, isn't she? I thank you for your previous letters. Oh, Dr. Edgar Swansea, right, okay, so this was in July of 1909. I thank you for your previous letters and ardent discussion about vampire folklore. It's now obvious we share an opinion concerning the scientific and modern approach towards the need for blood and the cure of addiction. I must confess I admired your charitable attitude when I met you at Dunbarrow Sanatorium, and I'm still impressed by your kindness when talking with humble and poor patients. I was delighted to read about your position of administrator at the Pembroke Hospital you financed since its founding. After a few days of deliberation, I'm happy to accept your offer. So, she offered him the job. That's why they're so close.
This painting looks suspicious.
Oh, well, there you go. There's another one of, I bet you, so-called sons fighting the Blood Mother. Hey, I could have done with one of these weapons fighting in the game. I would have been absolute beast mode. Old contract. Samuel Lewis, independent contractor. When we last communicated, you asked for the conveyance of a large coffin. Activate sensors. My drivers have been informed that for security reasons, guards must always protect the coffin. Under no circumstance should the carriage try to pass a river by boat, but always by road and bridges, for the precious wood and the relics inside the coffin cannot be exposed to humidity or moisture. Who is she trying to preserve? Ah.
A sword and a moon are the symbols I should look for.
Huh. Sword and a moon. I'm back in this fucking room. Oh, we're back. We're just in a circle. Wait, hold on. A sword and a moon. Aha! Down we go. Or maybe not. A sword and a fucking moon? What's this?
What are these symbols? I can feel a mechanism, but it doesn't work.
Ah, secret fireplace.
One last switch, and here's another switch. I should keep looking.
Oh, here we go.
What are these symbols? I can feel a mechanism, but it doesn't work. One last switch, and
It's been the one last switch 3 times.
here's another switch. I should keep looking. One last switch, and what are these symbols?
What the fuck's he talking about?
I can feel a
Oh, wait
mechanism,
there.
but it doesn't
Have these got
work.
a... That's got a rose on it. That's got a sword on it. Right, so if I press
One last switch.
the sword and the moon. I bet you this is the moon over here. Yes, it is.
Voila.
Bang. It was quite hard to see. I thought they were just blank plates. But I'm in there, baby. Oh, she's been a busy girl. Ancient Tome. In 1217, an angel came to me, blessed to be God. Michael appeared to me last night in all his glory, shaped in glory's blood. So is that Michael, the guy that's been talking to us throughout the game, to grant me eternal life at the dusk of my life? The apparition was so sublime and terrible that I could not help but lower my head and close my eyes. Struck by the divine gift, I fell to the ground, only to awake the next night. You will serve me as you served your kings, said the angel before striking me with all his power. You will protect this land through the eons to come. For all who knew me, I should now hide and retreat, for they consider me dead. Fucking hell. 133 years later. Michael appeared to me last night in my retreat under the temple church and asked me to prepare for battle. The land must be saved. Death is everywhere. The Black Death. 1569. 20 years since my fight started against the devil, and the end is uncertain. 1578. Tonight in the small village of Hoddesdon, I met the most delicate soul I've seen for a long time. She was singing for the dead. Singing for those she knew and loved. Who's she talking about? I offered her eternal life as a reward for her virtue and most pious attitude. Her name is Elizabeth Inglewood. Ah, so wait there. This is Elizabeth's mum. Does it say who wrote it? It won't be. Oh, fucking hell, look at this. It's a bloody novel. Unfortunately, I'm not reading all of that. My dearest daughter came back to me to tell me the good news. She recently bought a castle in Scotland. So we're in Scotland. Okay, that's where we are. She will soon finance the renovation of the castle. So, the blood guy confronted her mother. And then her mother turned her daughter. Well, not her daughter. Elizabeth is her progeny. Elizabeth Ashbury. Right. And that's right, because of her pious attitude, she's like she wants to help people. She's pretty much a saint. Here we go.
Lord Father, you have nothing to be afraid of.
Shall we abandon this then?
William Marshall.
Shall we lower our heads?
No, never. You taught me that.
Blood is approaching. Old but young. How strange. Shall I drink it? Smite it?
No, Father. He is a friend. Please, rest. I'll take care of it.
Caution, Elizabeth. Deceit runs through these veins.
I know, Father. What took you so long, Jonathan?
Is this really him?
Yes. This is William Marshall, 1st Earl of Pembroke, servant of 5 mortal kings, former regent and savior of England. The greatest knight who ever lived, according to some.
And you called him father?
For he gave me eternal life, and much more.
I have so many questions, Elizabeth.
You always had questions, Dr. Reed.
Now that I stand before you both, in this vault, I know not where to begin.
We still have a few minutes left.
Right, okay, so, right, I've just pieced this together now. Because the tome didn't have a name on it, I wasn't sure, I was just guessing who the people were. Right, so to lay it out. The blood apparition made William Marshall, when he was on his dying breath, immortal all those years ago. Then eventually William Marshall came across Elizabeth here, realized she was a good, kind-hearted soul, and let her drink his blood. So she is his progeny. And when I spoke to the blood apparition outside, what's he called, Mirathil or something, that's why he said to me, I'm here to see off me sons. He didn't say how many, but William Marshall and me are his sons. He created us. Right. It's like a bloody family car crash.
Where are we? What is this place?
This is the Ashbury estate. I inherited the title when I purchased the castle.
Is this your retreat? Something of a secret place?
It's more of a sanctuary, really. This is where I take care of my father. Ever since he became unwell.
Are you not afraid someone might discover you here? It's not that hard to find.
Do not assume that I would hesitate to silence anyone who tried to reveal my secret. Fortunately, it has rarely come to that.
Why did you flee here?
When you told me I was the healthy carrier, I had nowhere else to go.
You mean you had to return to the real source of this scourge?
Yes, to end it once and for all.
So hold on. She's gonna end the source of the scourge, so does that mean she's gonna end her father and herself? Cause it's in her blood lineage.
Will you go back to London?
No, Jonathan. I do not intend to.
And what of your daughter?
Charlotte is a strong, independent woman who's about to come into money. I took care of everything. Now it's time for her to shape her future.
She is. She's gonna fucking kill herself to save everyone. And that's why, well, she didn't know at the time, but it's a good job she didn't turn her daughter into a vampire, otherwise she would have had to kill her. And that would have been devastating for her.
I have destroyed the disaster, this creature that Harriet Jones had become. The epidemic is no more, and London will recover. In time.
Yes. You did well, Jonathan. You truly saved the city.
Yes, we did. Despite all obstacles. I'm truly convinced we did it together, Elizabeth.
I cannot bear knowing I was the cause of all this. Through the use of my own blood.
No. This catastrophe was the result of unethical experimentation. And the will of a creature so inexplicably evil, she exceeds all the terrible wonders I have seen since my death.
But it was my blood all along. My corrupted blood of hate. The poisoned blood of my father. A healthy carrier. That's all I am.
Why are you hiding William Marshall here?
How could I not take care of him? He sacrificed himself by giving me the only dose of antidote he had.
He gave you the antidote?
Yes. And in doing so, he knew he'd have to be confined here. And yet he volunteered. That's how great a man William Marshall was, and still is.
What do you do for him?
I visit him as often as possible. I paint the landscapes he will never see again. I feed him with my blood.
You feed him? You barely sustain yourself on the weak blood of the dying, yet you give him your blood?
After he saved me from the blood rage, I swore I would never kill to feed. He said the same.
So, for all of my skepticism, she's actually a very good woman. She was telling the truth.
Is he dangerous?
What do you think? He is a thirsty Ekon who has not fed in centuries. An elder vampire driven by an urge to kill and spread the blood of hate.
Can he communicate?
Yes. Sometimes he even seems like the noble knight who saved and raised me. But you know, the malice never fully leaves his eyes.
No redemption, then?
And yet he thinks he has been offered immortality by the angels to protect the feeble and to smite the unholy.
We could cure him.
It's too late. The blood of hate has run for too long. The antidote would not work on him. I tried. Believe me, I tried.
But you're not a doctor. I'm Dr. Swansea, Master Doctor of all of the land.
William Marshall infected you. He is the true, original carrier.
Yes. But he saved me by sacrificing himself.
Saved you? How?
The tears of angels. The cleansing of impure blood by an older, more powerful blood. It worked on me, did it not?
Yes. Blood is the definitive key to our species. Scowls, cleansing, lineage. Do you really think it worked?
It has, Jonathan. I was nothing but a beast who took pleasure in slaughter. I roamed across Europe, reaping my bloody crop. It was the blood of hate. But my father's antidote cured me.
What the hell? I'm getting confused by more confused by the minute. So, was she a fucking skull that was finding her urges too hard to resist, and he came along, realised what a good woman she was, and then used his blood to cure that, and she became the woman she is today?
How did you meet William Marshall?
He was an Ekon for centuries when he found me. He saved me from certain death by making me his progeny.
He did. He did.
Why did he choose you?
You should ask him that.
Did you ever blame him?
Not even when he was infected and bit me. He is my father. He raised me. He taught me how to behave.
Who are you, really?
How could I answer that? I went through many lives and identities to reach this day. To you, I am Elizabeth Ashbury, and that's all I wish to be.
I need to know more. I want to know who you really are. Where you were born. Where you lived.
I was born Elizabeth Samantha Mary Englewood in 1551 in Hertfordshire. My parents owned a pub in Hoddesdon. Are you satisfied?
Look, she even changed her accent. She went back to being the commoner that she is.
What about us?
What do you mean?
You know my feelings towards you, Elizabeth. But you left without a word. So I'm worried about your feelings towards me.
I love you, Jonathan. I've loved you since the moment I saw you rescue poor Mr. Hampton in that filthy slaughterhouse, forgetting the danger as you turned your back, like the newborn fool you were.
You should have told me.
No, Jonathan. The William Marshall myth lies at the heart of so many hostile plans. I could not risk jeopardizing his safety.
So why did you come here? You knew I would follow you. I can't let you go.
Because I know now the blood of hate is still in my veins. No one but I can put an end to this tragedy.
I can help you. You can trust me, Elizabeth.
I know, Jonathan. You have been the most loyal ally these last few weeks. But this is my duty.
Would your protege agree to speak with me? I have so many questions for him.
Go on, Jonathan. But be careful.
He's fucked, isn't he?
Yes?
So, William. My God. You really are William Marshall. You served Richard the Lionheart and his brother, King John. It is such a privilege to meet you.
I did in my day. Come closer if you want to speak. For my hearing isn't what it used to be.
I think your hearing is fine.
He wants to
What
fucking eat
is
us.
it you want then?
Oh, that's how bad his thirst is. He's like, come closer, my child, for I can't hear you. Just a little closer. Then he'll bite your fucking face off.
I found your research on the antidote. The tears of the angels. What ingredients did you use?
Once I understood what the ingredients were, I used the tears of King Richard and the pure blood of the valiant Boadicea.
King Richard and Boadicea? How did you find such relics?
It took me many years to locate their hiding place. Then I had to learn the formula. If I recall, it belonged to an ancient brotherhood. The Order of St. Paul, I believe.
And did it work?
Yes. The tears cleansed my poor Elizabeth's blackened heart. It was such a blessing to see her smile again.
I found and defeated the disaster that was threatening to smite London. You should know that the city is safe for now, Sir William.
Then may I call you brother? Did you resist its poison? Even a scratch from a beast so evil could endanger you and all those you care for.
You also defeated one in 1666. Who was it?
She was a malicious witch who spread plague throughout the city with her army of rats. She had been hiding in a bakery in Pudding Lane for months when I finally found her.
How did you defeat it?
We fought for hours. In the end, I had to lock her in St. Paul's Cathedral and burn the building down. I wanted to be sure she was destroyed.
Pretty awesome, to be fair, like.
The blood of hate. How does it affect you? Do you feel it now?
The blood of hate? Yes. Nothing more than a sneeze, really. A sneeze held for so long, you could blow a fortress down if you released it.
Can we speak about the Morrigan?
The Red Queen? What of her?
Do you know who she is?
I don't want to discuss this in front of my sweet Elizabeth.
Why?
For a time, she too could hear the Red Song. The steps she danced to its melody brought pain upon the world.
You met her, did you not?
Just once, but she never ceased to sing to me. I love her song. It is a song of blood and war. I only wish she would sometimes let me rest.
I would like to ask you about vampires.
Vampires? What about them?
Considering your experience, please tell me what you know.
They are terrible creatures. I have seen and fought many in my time. Foul temptresses with sharp claws and shrieking beaks.
Where did you encounter such creatures?
The last time I saw one was in a Celtic temple near Salisbury. A terrible and god-forsaken place full of ghosts and pestilence.
I have never seen such a creature. What are you talking about?
Of course you've never seen a creature like them. Vampires are deadly, swift and implacable.
So there's different types that we haven't encountered. Probably the most powerful ones. Ones that look like bats, maybe. Bats with beaks.
Do you remember Myrddin, your maker?
Only God is my maker, for he created everything on this earth. He blessed me with eternal life through his archangel, Michael.
But Myrddin, Michael, is a vampire. He made you a blood-sucking creature of the night.
Blood, yes. I used to drink it from the throats of the unworthy. Then I was punished for my deceit. During my penance, I rely entirely upon my sweet Elizabeth.
Tell me about Elizabeth. How was she infected?
I do not wish to discuss it.
Please, Sir William. I need to know what the blood of hate is. How is it transmitted?
After defeating the disaster in St. Paul's Cathedral, I returned to my retreat, infected. This is where my sweet Elizabeth found me, for she heard my pain from across the sea.
What happened then?
The blood of hate had twisted me into a rage-filled man. I attacked my progeny and infected her too. Forgive me, Elizabeth. I failed you.
You bit her again? Is that how she was infected with the disaster's blood? I think I understand now.
Elizabeth fled, and I fell to my knees, begging for forgiveness. I swore I would find a way to make things right.
Shit, that's why we shouldn't get too close. Not only does he want to feed on us, he can transmit the blood of hate.
Where is this retreat you mentioned?
In London, under Temple Church, beneath my empty tomb. I always loved to sleep there while listening to the bell above.
Ah, so his tomb is where the psychic is, and I bet you. I wonder if we get to go back there after this, because I wonder if we learn the combination for those floor plates, and we can. That'll be his tomb there, because that's underneath the church.
How did you meet Elizabeth?
Times were tough. I had awakened to protect the land from a new plague. I heard her sing for her dead family. Singing for her death to come. I chose to save her.
When was that?
It was so long ago. A few years after Elizabeth of England and Catherine of France established their alliance against Spain.
What did you do?
I raised her as my progeny. After she left to see the world, I rebuilt her deceased parents' inn. Owned it as William Thorne for a time. Those were good years.
Did you really sacrifice yourself to save her?
That was the only righteous path. The blood of hate made me betray her. I am at peace here. I can think about what I've done and how I failed.
Why? I don't know why he's still alive. Why hadn't Lady Ashbury killed him yet. I mean, and now like she owes a service to him, but he can fucking bring the downfall of mankind.
Do you not want to be cured?
No. This hunger is mine. I would feel empty without it. It has been part of me for so long. All I want is quiet. Silence.
You agreed to be confined here, then?
Yes. Once I was sure she was cured, I asked to be locked down here. I deserve it. The world needs it.
And it was him in the coffin. The coffin she had made and transported from wherever he came from. She had him moved here to Scotland and put in this basement, and that's why she didn't want him going across any rivers. Because, one, if he ends up in the river, he's fucked. And I imagine, like I say, the salt, water, and air would cause him to decay even more so than he already is.
We could set you free. Let you out. Isn't that what you want?
I pray for the day I'll see the sky again. I have all but forgotten its colors. I could walk and do so many things beneath the stars. But I doubt it will be wise to release me.
Then will you stay here and repent?
Elizabeth told me it will not be long now. I cannot wait to feel the sweet caress of her hand on my cheek after so long as she releases me. Has the time come?
Yes, Father.
Why not unleash me then? To see the sky a final time?
You already are the sky, and all its stars.
I'm not defeated, for I welcome the sword you bear, for it is mine.
You were never defeated, my lord.
Oh, I should have decapitated him.
Farewell, Father. And to you also, Jonathan.
What do you mean?
I can't stand what I've become. This healthy carrier, as you put it. The flames will purify the poison that runs in my veins.
No! I won't allow this to happen.
I am death, Jonathan. Wherever I go, I can't stand it.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, champion of Myrddin, chosen to save England from the vampire epidemic. I could cure you.
What do you mean?
We are creatures of blood, Elizabeth. Everything about us is in our blood. With time, I could perfect the antidote William Marshall gave you. Trust me, for time is on our side.
Oh, go on, son.
That is a risk I cannot take, Jonathan. I won't bring another such disaster into this world.
Elizabeth, no. Trust me. I can save you.
How
Come on,
could
man.
I trust you, Jonathan? How could I take such a chance?
I'll stay here with you then. As long as we must, until I find a cure.
You have no idea what you're talking about, Jonathan. Despite his madness, William was strong enough to starve for centuries. I doubt we can do the same.
We will lock ourselves down then. I'll get all the material I need and I'll perform my research here with you until you're cured.
Are you mad? Who would take care of us? Who would free us if it takes decades or even more?
Old Bridget will take care of us.
Oh, yes.
Serious, aren't you? You really are ready to do this?
For love and lust.
I love you, Elizabeth. I can do this. Please, stay with me.
I believe you. This is crazy, but I believe you, Jonathan.
Oh, I love Prevails. Fucking get in there, son. Dr. Reed, absolute boss doctor.
One prayer for the summoned, called by this song. Child born from darkness, whose path ye must find. Now the song is sung, and your path chosen. England is safe, for you have prevailed. I bid you farewell, my champion bittersweet. You found yourself a newer quest, and so I leave you to it. My queen sleeps once again, and I'll soon join her slumber, until alas she rises, woken by the hunger never fed.
Is that it? It is. Well, hey, that was what a game. I'm sorry, right? I'm just gonna say this now. This game has got the best voice acting in any game I've ever played, and I've played a shitload of games. It was, everybody's voice acting was on point. They were all believable. If there's any other games like Bethesda games or anything that can take something away from this game, it would be the voice acting. The quality was triple, quadruple A star. So we cured London. I think I only ate one person, and that was Aloysius Dawson, because he was a bit of a cunt. So I ripped his throat out. But everyone else, I was a pretty good vampire. Good vampire, awesome doctor. Well, actually, I'm a bad vampire. Depending on how you see it, I'm either a good vampire because I didn't hurt anyone, or I'm a bad vampire because vampires are expected to eat people, and I did a very bad job at doing that. But then again, I ate loads of enemies in combat, so yeah, I was pretty awesome legend. And love prevailed, because she was going to throw... I think this game does have multiple endings, because I think she was going to throw herself in the fire, but because of how I've played the game, I managed to save her, lock myself in the dungeon, and we've got old Bridget coming to and from the castle, feeding us, sustaining us. And if you, I don't know if you noticed, right, but in that last cutscene there, Elizabeth was in the background with the blood drips, and I was in front of a computer, so you can see from this game set in 1917 or something, I think, 1817. It's been up until modern day, and they still are researching a cure. So maybe she's right, and it's not curable. You can't cure the rage. What did they call it? The hateful blood. Maybe it's uncurable. But we'll be locked in that castle dungeon for all eternity, until we find the cure. And that even boils down to what's it called? Meridian. The blood apparition. He even calls me his champion bittersweet. Maybe he knew this is what it would come to. Because although we're in there, we've got love and we've saved London, it's bitter at the same time, because we're locked up in there without our freedom. Oh, that's awesome. That is fucking awesome. What a game. Now, I can imagine the game plays out in a significantly different way. Because if you, if you start feeding on people like a true badass vampire, the powers you can get will be phenomenal, because you'll have so much more experience to play with. And I imagine that'll give you a different ending. I'm not sure if the endings are dependent on how much blood you drink or the decisions you made. Like, for example, if I'd turned Aloysius Dawson, would that have been a bad thing? Because he would have built that wall, and I imagine all of his citizens would have eventually died because he's essentially imprisoned them. What other things could have caused a bad ending? I don't know, maybe... Oh, yeah! I bet you if I'd turned her daughter into a vampire, she would have definitely killed herself, because I don't think she could have lived with the guilt. But then again, if I'd turned her daughter would have been a normal vampire, because I haven't got the rage blood, the hateful blood. It's only if she would have turned her daughter. Right, okay, so that makes sense. But I don't think she would have forgiven me, so she definitely wouldn't have stayed with me there. Oh, it's very interesting. I love it. I think there is a couple of things that I didn't finish off. But then it brings me on to this point, is about the side quests in the game. Although the game's got quite a few side quests and some of them are interesting, I don't think they've got much effect on the game at all, because none of the decisions that are made in the main storyline reflect any of the side missions that you've done. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to do but I didn't do. I forgot the two doctors. Can you remember the two doctors at the start of the game? One of them was arguing for doing a tried and tested operation, and the other one was, I want to say his name's begins with an S. Anyway, and the other one wants to use an experimental method to further science, further the medicine research. I didn't finish that quest off. The last thing I did was craft the experimental potion for them, but I didn't decide whether they were going to use it or not. I wonder if that would have changed anything. Possibly, possibly not. But in this playthrough, there's 4 pillars. I killed 2 of them. Oh, that's right, man. Sean Hampton. I left him to his own devices and he turned into a skull, so I had to go back and murder him. So he died. That plunged the docks into serious state. But some of the citizens still lived, which one was the one with Alzheimer's, and the young guy that's extorting her, who she thought was his son, and Aloysius Dawson. They're the only 2 I killed. Not Doris. I'm so bad with names, it's unreal. But the medicine woman that was blackmailing Elizabeth, she lived because of my choice. I made a black market deal with her that I'd be sending she'd send me medicine on the side, and I'd pay her for it, which is good. And actually, notice that was the right decision, because that saved Whitechapel. I think Whitechapel wouldn't have survived without her doing that. And Doctor, what's his name? I was gonna say Enid there. Shropton. Didn't know, I couldn't tell you. Wait, I'm going on Google because my memory needs refreshed. Vampire Dr. S. Swansea. I knew it was a place in fucking in the United Kingdom. Swansea. Edgar, that's it, begin with an E. What was I calling him? Enid. Yeah, we made Edgar Swansea our progeny. Oh, that could be a nightmare. Because if he's part of the Brotherhood, they don't like vampires, but they're letting him be because of his research potential. I wonder if he'll succumb to the thirst and just end up wiping them all out and becoming the head of the Brotherhood anyway. And then if he does that, then the Brotherhood will probably become an equal and parallel to the Ascalon Club, except Edgar Swansea will be the leader. It's all just speculation and possibilities, but aye, what a game. What a game. Cryway. Oh, that's different from the fucking Cry engine though, isn't it? Also, actually, you know what it is? I do want to give a shout out, right? Give us 1 second. I want to give a big shout out to iPet Zombies, who's been watching the playthrough, and she actually suggested that I play this game. Now, I did have this game downloaded and ready to play, but I wasn't sure what I was going to play next. But she was like, oh, I'd love to see you play Vampyr. So I played it, and I'm very grateful for that, because this game is... well, I've loved it. It's one of my favourite games I've played all year. It's one of the more memorable experiences, because I think I love the story, I love the dialogue, and the world and the atmosphere was phenomenal. And I like Dr. What's going on with my memory today? What's the guy you play as? Unbelievable. I forgot the name. Am I getting Alzheimer's? Dr. Reed. Dr. Reed is like the Deus Ex. Adam Jensen. Dr. Reed is the Adam Jensen of fucking 1717 or 1817, whenever this game was set. Right then, lads, I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. It's been awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'll see you in whatever I shall play next. In a bit, lads.